Well, here we are at the conclusion of the Big Dig project, bringing you this episode finally. A lot of you were waiting for this, including us. So, for those of you who don't know what this is, you'll need to go back to episode 18, where we revealed the Big Dig project, something we started back in the summer of 2015. We were digging open a long century-old buried mine, which we, of course, left unnamed up until this point. We didn't want to bring heat upon ourselves or have anyone messing with what was going on at the dig site. But we can tell you now that it was Old Mountain level number 3 up in Old Mountain of Londonderry, Nova Scotia. We have an episode way back last year of level number 6, which was a small, maybe 60 to 80 foot adit on the same mountain. We can show you the map now of what we were looking forward to, why we were digging this open. It was a fairly extensive mine that we were looking forward to. Thus, we considered it worth the dig. And by looking at this map, you can probably see why. The scale of that is it's approximately a 1,300 to 1,500 foot long level. At the middle point, or at the midpoint, there is a large section called the Gallagher Workings, which are a network of very large stopes or ballrooms underneath the earth. So we were really excited to see that level 3 connected to that section as well. Also on this map, you'll see level 2 put in contrast next to level 3. They do relate to each other. Level 2 is approximately 6 to 8 stories above level 3. So anyway, let's get started. Now that we're finally doing this, we can show it all to you. We've done it. Now it's time to roll out the footage and let you see how the day went. So this is the conclusion to the Big Dig project. Finally, the walk of Old Mountain level 3. Here we go. Well, here we are at the Big Dig site. After all this time, I'm sure many of you have been waiting a long time to see how this story was going to conclude. But as you can see here, some of the pipes that we had been using or attempting to siphon the water out of the mine, if you remember, it was quite flooded at the mouth, 4 feet deep or so. We tried a lot of experiments with this stuff, and it ended up, we waited long enough that Mother Nature took care of it for us, because at this point, this mine is basically bone dry. Now there is some water in it, we've taken a peek, but we're going to try and navigate it, and we are going to do the walk today. Here's another look at the pipe work that we had been attempting. We got the siphoning going. It did work for 10-15 minutes at a time, but unfortunately these tubes do have slight manufacturing defects and just enough pinholes to allow air in that the siphon ends up killing itself in about 10 to 15 minutes. So it was futile for a while, but we kept an eye on it all summer, and now is our time to strike, because the water level was going down, down, and down, all on its own. So the brook here is that used to flow out of the mine is bone dry. Let's have a look in the mouth. Okay, here we are at the portal, the Big Dig portal. There's the end of the siphon tube where we used to draw water from the bottom there. But as you can see, we are bone dry. Just a slight coating of mud on the rocks, but no water. There is some water further inside, as you'll see, but hell, let's just get this show on the road and start trekking this thing. So let's head in. Okay, here we are just inside the mouth, and this is what it looks like. This is what the Big Dig was all about, and where we're standing right now, this used to be 4 feet of water that went all the way up to that ledge, but it's gone. So, if we were to turn around here, now all of this, which was pretty much submerged, is now it's now our oyster to explore. And like we said back on episode 18, this is completely virgin. No one has walked this. No one even knows this is open at this point. So this is going to be really cool. The area called the Gallagher Workings are up ahead. We're really excited to see those because they are supposedly very large ballrooms here, and you can see them on the map. So let's push forward a little bit. So there's a little bit of water in here. It's not very much. It's just little puddles from time to time. And if we look down here, there's a little teeny weeny bit of evidence of water flow, but that's about it. So just about 70 feet inside the mouth, as the map shows, there's sort of this strange stopy crosscut. There's the adit that continues, but the ceiling goes way up, and it's sort of an angled slash that goes across the tunnel here. It goes down in there. We'll go down in there and check it out, but off to the right it goes down in there a little ways, and over here to the left, we'll give you a shot in there in a second, it just extends in there a bit. So I'm standing in the middle of the crosscut now. Here's looking back at the fellas coming in from the mouth. So it goes off to the left a little bit there and just ends there is where you can see that wall. And this is the adit that continues, and that of course heads down. That should go another 700-800 feet to the Gallagher Workings, as we can see up ahead on the map. And then if we turn to the right, it heads down into this stope. There's a lot of backfill here, almost to the ceiling, but it does continue down in there, so we're going to go take a look down in there and see what we find. So here's to the right, heading down into this crosscut or stope or whatever it was. Okay, here's at the bottom of the crawl. This is what it looks like as it continues. So cool, the fact that this is being seen after like a century of being under here. Looks like a lot of chunks that potentially fell from the ceiling, which does, you know, make us a little nervous, but everything seems solid. We just don't touch anything. So let's continue past those timbers. It keeps going off there into the distance. Okay, I just want to stop for a second and show you this this stringy looking fungus. We found this in the north slope at Cape Dore. I thought it was actually like steel wires, but sort of a metallic looking. We didn't see the white buds on it there, but if we look, it kind of creeps all around these like wires laying everywhere, but it's not. It's a living plant of some sort that lives down here in the pitch darkness. Very unusual. We had to stop and show you because we have seen this before. This is now the second time we found it in a mine that we've opened. Let's keep going. Okay, here's up past the timbers. This is sort of the end of the line on this this strange crosscut or stope that's near the beginning. But it heads down there to an end in that far corner there in the center of the screen. And then stopes up there into the ceiling like that with some stalls across. Everything is so brown down here because it looks like, you know, with the water flow and stuff, everything's got a light layer of silt and mud over it, so very brown footage. But we discovered here there's a nest made of like shavings and things from the outdoors. So I think since we did the big dig and opened the mouth, an animal decided to come in here and make a little home. Now we don't know what kind of animal it was, but this is a little nest. Okay, here's that distant left cut stope that went down in there quite a ways. I'd say that's probably 12-15 feet tall and maybe 2-3 feet wide. Obviously they were going after some kind of vein. But yeah, this is where the right hand side of the crosscut ends. Both there and down over in there. So let's go back to the main adit and we'll continue down the tunnel. Let's head onwards. Okay, we're continuing down through the past the crosscut here near the beginning, and we're going to continue on the tunnel heading towards the Gallagher Workings. So they're already on their way. There's some water to navigate, but it's not too bad. I've dropped down here into the continuation of the tunnel, and here's the water we're going to have to navigate. It's about a foot deep, but hey, considering it was 4 or 5 feet deep before, this is really doable. So there's not much choice beyond getting your feet wet. Like I said, about a foot deep, but we're going to have to deal with it. So there's looking back, there's the pinhole to the opening, the mouth to the outdoors. You can see in the center of the screen. And we're navigating this water. And the tunnel continues as we make our way towards those Gallagher workings that we want to get to. So just to illustrate what the rock is like on the ground, there's this light powdering of mud coating over everything, because as we saw back in the beginning, back in episode 18, this was all underwater. So, just small remnants of water thus far, but there is some water flow, not much. But it'll be interesting to see if we can figure out where this comes from. These are first footprints, folks. It's incredible to think that this has been unearthed. And the old mountain mine, level 3, with level 2 and 1 above it. We're breaking new ground here for sure. Wow. Okay, the walls are getting a heck of a lot cleaner up here because I don't think this was as deep underwater as the front. But the water level's going down as well. There's just this flow that continues. But we continue to head towards the Gallagher workings here. The boys are up ahead.
It's collapsed in here.
I'm hearing something about collapse.
The drift goes this way and it's collapsed, and then you can see this is that's all collapsed.
Okay, we seem to be reaching a hard end here suddenly. Well, let's go in here and see what we find. They're saying no Gallagher workings. This is where they kind of should be. We've come to a kind of a fork in the road.
There was a shaft here.
Okay, we'll take a look. Okay, they're exploring down in there. This is just the first offshoot to the right, and by the map, it should be at an end. Is there even a crawl space or anything?
Nothing.
Okay, so that is that tunnel that we see on the map then.
Okay.
So here's forward down the drift the way it should continue. We're going to go down there to the end and peek around. There's
Nothing to peek.
nothing to peek. Well, we'll take a look. Okay, here I am at the end, as far as we can go. And it just kind of comes to this collapse, and there's a beautiful breeze coming from up in there. But again, there's nothing we can do to go past this. Technically, we're at the point where it just should be entering the Gallagher workings, and I believe that the Gallagher workings have unfortunately collapsed, which was the whole exciting feature of coming in here. We thought we'd just come down around the corner and they'd be down here waiting for us, but unfortunately this rat's nest of collapsed timbers and rocks has just utterly plugged this. But like I say, there's very strong cold airflow coming from up there. And I'm sure maybe those big old stopes are up in there still alive, but they've obviously come down enough that they've packed in here, because this drift comes to an end, and we can't dig this out, unfortunately.
What the hell? No, 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 no!
All right, we're heading out of Old Mountain level number 3 with an unfortunate ending because we can't get any further. So that kind of sucks. I'm pissed. Now they're wanting to mineral hunt on the way out, so we'll give them their moment. So here's the water flow on the way out. We got a clearer look at it. This is where it's starting. Just comes out of this rock mound here where we were up dry on the left and the right. All right, let's take a walk back. Ooh. Muddy mucky. Just on the way out having a look at this broken timber here that got snapped from our weight, but it's just amazing. It's like just pulp. Just breaks like it's made of tissue paper. And here's the timber we just went through. Some fungusy roots kind of coming off it there, hanging in midair. And here's heading out our manhole, the original Big Dig, back out to civilization through the original Old Mountain Level 3 portal. All right, we're out. So that ends the adventure at the original Big Dig Old Mountain Level 3 Adit. Unfortunately cut short by collapse. But you never know till you look. See you next time. Bye bye. Oh, hold it right there. You knew this was coming. Well, we did go back a little time later, and we did have to make our final explore, the last one, because we were going to seal this puppy, of course. So that's what we're doing now. This footage you're seeing right now is the last exit of the mine itself. Good Old Mountain, level number 3. Put some official Nova Scotia Mine Hunters cards in some cracks up at the very end. Hopefully they won't get wet and be sealed under there for eternity. Of course, we did a bunch of cribbing and rock building and caving down over the mouth. Spent quite a bit of time, a good couple hours, and did a really good seal on the portal. Just want to make sure that it's well done, nice and secure, won't slump, and put it back to its original way we found it. Of course, we want to make sure that we bring the sites that we dig open back to their original status. Don't want to leave sites open that were previously considered finished and no concern by the Department of Natural Resources. So that theme will continue for anything that we ever dig in the future, but we just want to show you, as we always do, proof at the end. This is what she looks like. Goodbye to Old Mountain level number 3. That's it. We can roll credits. Bye-bye. Go! Uh-oh.
I'm with these leaking, I don't get any birds.
I need new battery. Well, fuck me.